everyone, it's Kryptonite here and welcome back to another Hydroneer Volcalidus video. So are you fed up with your hydrosaurus looking like this with a mere number of 30 out of 36, or maybe you've even got 34 out of 36 and just struggling to find them last two dinosaur pieces, and you want it to look a little bit more like this with a nice 36 out of 36. Well, have I got news for you? I've done all the hard work for you so you don't have to. So in case you didn't know, there are 64 spawn locations for these bones. Now there is a little bit of RNG involved in this, but it's all to do with your save. So on screen now I will show you a map and I will explain a little bit more. So as you can see on the map, there are 64 locations. Now what I mean by it's determined by your save is every time you create a save, 36 pieces will spawn in any of these 64 locations. Now in the rest of this video I'm going to show you the more difficult locations to find. I'm sure many of you have found many bones that are pretty obvious and you can see on the sides of the roads, but there are a few that are a bit more difficult locations. So in this video I'm going to show you where those locations are. Now in case you didn't know, unfortunately where the Barrens are, where all the fog is, there is actually two spawn locations there. But don't worry, by the end of this video you'll know exactly where to find them pieces of bones and get your dinosaur looking like this and reap your rewards of 5,000 scout tokens. So just quickly before we go into showing you where those locations are, I just want to give a shout out to Roboticaust. He's part of the Hydroneer Discord. He was a big help in this video in just confirming a few locations for me. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, so one of the more difficult ones to find, well, not so much find, but one that you can easily miss, is over by the shattered outpost. Grab our map just here. As you can see, we are just here, just along the side of the road. Now what you want to do is you want to face the volcano and you can just see it just glowing there. It's just on the top of this little hillside. As I said, it's not one of the most difficult ones to find, but it is easily missed, especially if you were just driving past pretty quickly. So there we go, we have found ourselves a rib. So now we'll go along and we will head over to our next location, which is a bit more difficult to find, and I'll show you where that bone can be located. So for our next two that are a bit more difficult to find, we are over by Lumberton Bluff and what we like to call the maze. So in between all of these glaciers. Now if you take the road down that goes to the right hand side of Lumberton Bluff, you just want to turn a left into in between the glaciers. Just come in this direction over here, just where this sort of bridge is. You want to turn left down here and you will find some bones just here. There is another spawn point around here, which is just follow it around to the left hand side just over here, and there should be another spawn point around about here. It hasn't popped up as a spawn point on this save, but you never know, it might on your save. So that's 2 in this area. So there are a total of 5 in the maze area. I'll show you the first 2 and now we're going to look at the other 3 locations. So on the road to the left hand side of Lumberton Bluff, and we are just on the road just where it curves round to the right, and what you want to do is you want to go in between these 2 fences just here. You want to carry on down this way. You want to turn to the left and you will see one just by this tree. That is the first location. So we'll just quickly pick this up on our travels and we'll just have another look at the map. Now we can see it a little bit. What we want to do is we want to continue to head on into this direction. So we want to continue this way just through these glaciers and you will come across another tree. And here you'll come across another 2 trees and this will be your next location. So just here is another spawn point. And now what we want to do is we want to head over to the left just down here. And there is another spawn location at the next little crossroads where the glaciers kind of split off. So just here, as you can see, is another spawn location. This one is quite well hidden, especially if you're not looking for it. It's not one that you will just come across randomly. So there we go, that is all the ones in the maze complete. Now I don't know if you can see on the map, but I'll just point it out during the editing. But just to the southeast of Lumberton Bluff is a little black square. Now that is one of the auto miners that are available. I will be having a guide out for them very shortly. but that is another spawn point within this sort of area. So this one that's hidden over by New Glade is a very cheeky one. Open up the map, we can see we're just north of New Glade, and basically it's the other side of this sort of lava swamp area, and it's just here by this tree. So that's another hidden one that isn't really easily noticeable and easily accessible. So next we're going to head over to Scoria Chamber and Waterside, and over by Burville as well. There are a few hidden ones around there. This is the most populated area of the map, as you can see with the map that I'm going to put on screen now. But there are a couple of hidden ones, so I'm going to show you where they can be located. So here we are, just at the other side of New Glade, just at the other entrance / exit. And already we can see one just glowing here, just on this small little island. So there's one there. You also want to check this island here as well, and then also this island. You can see one just over the distance there, and we can see a couple over here as well. So there are plenty over here. Some are easily noticeable, especially these ones along the side of the road. That one over there you might notice, you might not, and this one here just hidden on a small little island. So we're going to go ahead and collect all them up. So here we are near Scoria Chamber, and just where this right hand turn is, just here, there is one that's a little bit off the beaten track, and it's kind of covered by these little mounds, and sometimes it's easy to miss. As you can see, it's sitting just here by these trees. Most of the time you can see it, but every now and then you will end up driving past it, as it is a little bit hidden just down in that little ridge or that ditch there. So we're going to continue to head into Scoria Chamber, and I'll show you where the ones that are hidden around the area are. So here we are at the Scoria Chamber dig site. Now there are a couple that are hidden around the back. I'm not sure if they are going to be in this save or not, but I know that there are a couple of spawn points over here. So you just want to check this area and make sure there isn't any over in this direction, especially in your save point, because as I explained at the beginning of the video, that there are 64 spawn points altogether, but the spawn points are dictated by each save, so every save will be different, but the 65 spawn locations are all the same. It just depends on where the bones end up spawning in your save. So as we can see here, just hidden down here at the end of the path, we have another one over here. So that's that one collected, and now we're going to continue our way over the bridge across the island towards Waterside and Burville. Although there is one that I actually missed just here. So just on the top of this hill, you can just see it glowing. As I was driving back, it just caught my eye. So you just want to make sure that you check all around this area, as you will find random bone fragments over here as well. Another really cheeky hidden spot that they have put one of these bones is if you go from Scoria Chamber, if you head over towards Burville, just straight down this little hill, we just jump out of our truck, a couple of spawn points just down here along the waterside. So one of the spawn points is just here, right by the water's edge. So just along this sort of cliff edge, completely opposite Burville, we have one just down here. Now there is another spawn location as well around this area. Can't remember exactly off the top of my head. I think it's this direction or it's in that direction, but another one of these little sort of peaks that go along the waterside. There's another one there. Obviously, if you just refer back to the map that I supplied at the beginning of the video, you will see the locations there. I'll also be leaving a link to that in the description as well, so you can save it or do what you wish with it. As we make our way down to Burville, you will also notice this, which is a forge mark. Now we'll be doing a guide video how to use these, and I'm also going to be doing another video on all the spawn locations for them as well. I believe there are 22. I've just got a few more to find, and then I will be doing a video for all of those spawn locations as well. So make sure you do hit that subscribe button so you don't miss when that video is released. So here we are just over the bridge before we get to Burville, and there is one that's hidden just behind this tree. You can easily miss this if you're just driving past quickly and not paying attention. I have done myself a couple of times, so it's always just worth just checking that tree out, because that is a nice little hidden spot. I want to go to Burnville, and there are a couple of hidden ones over here as well. So one of the hidden ones over here at Burville, if we just go to the top of this sort of hill, we can just see it just here. So it's not quite on the path and it is easily missable. And there we go, we're just seeing another one glisten over there in the distance as well. There are 2 over here in the open wilderness of Burville. So we're just going to grab these 2 and then we're going to move off to the other more difficult locations to find. So if we carry along this path, so the Barrens are just here on the left hand side. If we carry on down this path, and where this sort of path ends, you kind of want to carry on towards those trees. And just about here, you should see another spawn point as well. As I said before, it's not on this save because every save differs, but there should be one there as well. Now, there are a couple of hidden ones in the Barrens. They are probably the 2 most difficult ones to find. But for now, we're going to head over to Waterside. And I'm going to show you a couple over there that might not be so obvious. So the first one over by Waterside is just before you get to this sort of T-junction crossroads over here. Just where this kind of lantern is, you just want to take a right and you just want to follow it through the wilderness. There is a spawn point just here, as you can see. This one is off the beaten track, so it is a little bit more difficult to spot from the road. So we'll include that one in this video as well, just for you guys. So we'll head over to Waterside and I'll show you the 2 that are kind of hidden over there as well. So here we are over at Waterside. There are a few spawn points here. There's one that you can see just down here. There's also one over there as well by this tree. It's not on my save, but there should be one there as well. And there's one over just over here. Them 2 are the more obvious ones, along with the 3rd one I pointed out. Here it is, look. There's one just here on top of this little hill. A little bit difficult to see with the colour of the lava pointing in your face. But as you can tell, it is definitely there. So we're just going to grab this last one and I'm going to show you the other 2 in the Barrens. Okay, so just a couple that I wanted to mention by the Shattered Breach and the Volcalidus Peak that are a little bit more difficult to see. So as you can see, we're literally right by the S on the Shattered Breach, and there's one just here on this hill, as we can see here, just by this tree. So the road or the path is just down here. It is a little bit obviously foggy down here, so it's a little bit more difficult to see. Another one that I wanted to show you by Shattered Breaches over here at the very far side, just where this lava pool is, just by this tree is another one. Another one can be located there. That one's a little bit more difficult to see than the rest of them. Now for the one that a lot of people I seem to be struggling with finding, especially over in the Discord. If we are in Shattered Breach and we see the forge just here, literally just the other side of this fence is the other one. It's very sneakily hidden just here. This is probably one of the most sneakiest ones, but there we have it. That location has been revealed. So as you can see, we are on the path on the way to Volcalidus Peak, and we're just stopping off here because there is another one that's quite hidden just here. Before you get to the first little rock or concrete bridge, just here on this ledge on your left hand side, we'll put the map down just there. That's where one of them is really hidden, and that one's easily missed as well. And then for the next one, we're going to head up to the top of Volcalidus Peak and we'll find the next one. So another hidden one on the volcano is just over in this direction. So if we're up the top just before the corner, if we look down, it will either be on this ridge or on this ridge or the other ridge down there. Can't remember exactly what one because it's not on this save. But on one of them 3 ridges, you'll see another one as well. Now for the final hidden one before we go to the Barrens is under a sneaky little bridge. So we'll head over there and I'll show you where that one is. Okay, so for the last one before the Barrens, we're over at Burville. Again, I do apologise if it seems like I'm going a little bit backwards and forwards. I've had to do this on multiple saves to try and show you the location of some of the more hidden ones. So this bridge here, the bridge that doesn't really spawn any water, it's just, I don't know, here to cover this gap maybe. But just here, get rid of the map, is another one hidden just here. This one is one of the ones that most people struggle with as well. So there's a location for that one as well. So now we're going to head over into the Barrens and I'm going to show you the 2 most hidden ones. Okay, so here we are in the Barrens. Now I've just got to try and position this map in the best possible way for you to see this tiny little square just next to my icon. That is another one of the automated drills, and that is where you're going to find one of the bone locations in the Barrens. So here is the mine, and you can just see where this dead tree is a bone just there. So for the next one, it's over by the Barrens Harbour. So we're going to head over there and I'll show you where that one's located. So here we are over at the Barrens Harbour, and what you want to do is you want to head to the right hand side, and just down this hillside next to the wall, you will see the location of a bone there. Now these are the only 2 spawn locations in the Barrens, so don't worry about searching through the fog too much because they are the only 2 locations. So if this guide has helped you complete your hydrosaurs in the museum and you've reaped your 5,000 scout tokens, then I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a like on this video and subscribe. This video took a while to do, multiple saves and multiple testing to try and find all 64 locations to make all of your lives easier. So your support will go a hell of a long way. So it's been Kryptonite here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.